All right, let's talk about a word that I think most of us get wrong, renouncement. Now, if the first thing that pops into your head is someone giving up, checking out, and just escaping from the world, you're going to want to stick around. Because it turns out that true renouncement might just be the secret to the most powerful and effective action you can possibly take.
So, to get our heads around this, we need to start with what I like to call the action paradox. It's this puzzle, this seeming contradiction that really challenges our basic assumptions about what it means to let go and what it means to get things done. And here it is, the heart of the paradox, right from our source material. The deepest renouncement gives rise to the most authentic actions. Wait a minute, giving up leads to doing more? That just sounds completely backward, doesn't it?
So, that's our big question for today. How on earth is that possible? How can the act of letting go actually lead to taking more powerful action? To figure this out, we first have to break down where we usually go wrong.
First things first, we've got to tackle this huge misconception. We're often taught to see renouncement as just passivity. It's this idea of learned helplessness, where you just throw your hands up, check out, and let the world happen to you. But as we're about to see, that is not the real story at all. All right, so it's time for a major reframe. We are going to completely dismantle that old passive definition and build up a new one that is so much more dynamic, engaged, and, honestly, a lot more powerful. And this chart just lays it out so clearly. On the left, you've got the common idea: withdrawal, passivity, avoidance. But then you look at the right, and it's the total opposite. It's about engagement, inner freedom, and a conscious release of attachment, not a rejection of life. The whole point here is that it's an internal shift in your attitude, not some external act of running away. So here it is, our new working definition: a spiritual attitude of freedom from inner clinging and possession. It is a conscious release of attachment, not a rejection of involvement. Let's use this as our anchor point. It's not about getting rid of your stuff, it's about letting go of your need to cling to it so tightly. And once you grasp that, it just opens up this entirely new way of living. It's not a path of separation from the world, but actually a path of deep, meaningful engagement with it. Take a look at this table. It compares two really different approaches. On the left, you've got the traditional monastic path, which is often about separation, renouncing worldly things, trying to kill desire, repressing the ego. But the engagement patch on the right, that's all about immersion. It's about finding connection, about balancing your attachments, and about paying careful attention to your desires. It's basically a blueprint for living a meaningful life right in the middle of all the chaos. And that's really the key takeaway here. The goal isn't to become some unfeeling robot. It's not about denying our passions or pretending we don't have desires. It's about learning to work with them consciously so that we control them instead of them controlling us. Okay, so if this path isn't about self-denial and feeling miserable, then what actually fuels it? What gives a person the motivation, the energy, to walk this path of conscious engagement?
Let's just ask it directly. If you're not driven by what you're giving up, what are you being driven by? Well, the answer is actually pretty beautiful.
The sources call this motivation the mysticism of the heart. This isn't some cold intellectual choice. It's a deep, powerful, heartfelt connection to something much bigger than yourself.
So what does that really mean? It means you're renouncing not out of a sense of obligation or because you have to, but out of love. A profound love for something divine, or a love for other people, or just a deep love for truth itself. This love becomes this incredible, positive, driving force that makes letting go of attachments feel like liberation, not a loss. This quote just captures it perfectly. Think of your inner work as tending to an inner flame. And this love, this mysticism of the heart, is the fuel. Whatever keeps that flame burning bright, well, that's your path. Okay. Now we can finally connect all the dots. We can solve the paradox from the beginning. How does this inner attitude of love and freedom translate into powerful, effective action out there in the real world? The source material is crystal clear on this. Renouncement does not imply passivity. From this point of view, real action means acting at precisely the right moment with your entire being, holding nothing back. So here's how it works in practice. It's a three-step process. Step 1, you pour everything you've got into what you're doing. You act with your whole potential. Step 2, and this is the really crucial part, you offer up the results. You release your attachment to the outcome, whether you get praised, or you succeed, or you fail. And then step 3,
Your satisfaction comes simply from the knowledge that you gave it your all, from a job well done. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory. Look at these historical figures. Gandhi renounced all his personal possessions, yet he led an entire nation to freedom. St. Francis renounced wealth, but in doing so created a legacy of compassion for all living things. Thich Nhat Hanh's whole idea of engaged Buddhism is built on this very principle. They all show us that letting go of personal gain can unleash incredible power for the greater good.
And when you practice this, something really profound starts to shift in your perspective. You stop seeing yourself as the main character in your own little movie, and you start to feel your life as a small but incredibly meaningful part of a much bigger whole. This is true participation.
And so, we come full circle, back to where we started, but now with a completely new understanding. The paradox is solved. True renunciation and effective action aren't opposites. They are two sides of the very same coin. You really can't have one without the other.
So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Just imagine what you could do, what risks you could take, what creative energy you could unleash if you were truly free from being attached to the outcome. What could you achieve then?